Good evening, and that's my cue to start the show. Welcome to another edition of the Hard Rocket Sports Show. It's live from Higher Top Higher Sports Rocket Sports Studios in beautiful city Monroe, New Jersey. We do a 2-hour weekly get-together. We bring you all the biggest news from around the world of hard rock, heavy metal, across the world of sports. And guys, welcome to Thursday, November the 13th in the year of our good Lord 2025. And welcome to the new studio. And it's going to be a big show tonight. Got a couple hours of sports music for you. And I'm looking forward to all of it. Now, hopefully, the sound is good. I'm working with a little bit of different equipment this week. And I'm waiting for Jeff and whoever else to pop up.
We're right here. I'm behind you.
Okay.
I'm going on camera. This way.
Okay.
Cheers.
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 Thank you, guys. So again, Thursday night, November 20. Wow, November this 13th of the year of our good Lord 2025, and wow, middle of Christmas season, and we are here doing a show live, and lots to talk about this week. A lot of. Let's see. Let's start with a little bit. I'm waiting for Jeff to pop up. Let me see if he popped up on my screen and. Gave me a heads up where he's at. Okay. Jeff's running a little late.
To hear him stutter on air. So I was like, I said, I got this. We give him a shot.
And can you recommend any good restaurants on 1 and 9? Jose Tejas.
No idea. No. Listen, Ross. No idea.
Hold on, sorry guys.
I don't, because I don't follow his show ever. You can put it on YouTube right now and follow it.
Okay. Lots of football news. Again, the big news this week is, of course, the firing of Brian Daboll from the New York Giants. And not unexpected after a very tough loss last week. But it's just been too many. It's one thing for this team to lose. And most people thought they would lose. The problem has been the expectation has changed because of the amount of close games and games where the Giants in the fourth quarter had been dominant and yet found a way to lose. And that's on the head coach. And I don't necessarily think I agree with the fact that they fired him in midseason. I don't think it does anything at that point. You're not gaining anything. And it's one thing if you're a dumpster fire and you've lost the locker room. I don't believe Brian Daboll lost the locker room. I think the team played hard. They just don't know how to win. And they're a long way from trying to figure out how to win at this point. And obviously they're going to try to find a way to win with a new head coach. But I don't agree with I agree with the firing because you can't keep losing games that way. This Bears game was so frustrating because, like the Cowboy game, was 25 seconds left when they blew it. You could see it coming in the Denver game. Down they were up 19, and Denver scores 33 points in the fourth quarter. You felt this game for 3 quarters the Giants just had it in their pocket, and then there was a point in the game in the fourth quarter. I don't know if it was the end of the third where the fumble happened, but I looked up and said they're going to lose this game, and it's because they just didn't know how to put the game away. And that's including the coaching staff, and that includes the players. They just don't know how to put the game away. So, I don't agree with the firing of a head coach in the middle of a season. I don't think you get anywhere. I don't think you get anywhere from it. I don't think you're not going to change your season around. And the only way I would agree with it is if you had lost the locker room and you're getting blown out every week. I don't think that I would have fired Brian Daboll, but I understand it. Coming off that plane from Chicago, it wasn't good. It just wasn't good. And after a while, it falls on the head coach. Now, I would have fired the DC.
But like,
If you're asking me, I would have fired the defensive coordinator because that's the guy who has not done his job. Hold on a second, guys. I'm going to try to take off the screen. Okay. I would have fired the defensive coordinator because he has not done his job this year. He has not found a way to put this team in the best spots to win. And there's a lot of stuff to talk about here with the Giants. But at the end of the day, this team still, after 4 years of Brian Daboll as head coach, this team still didn't know how to win football games. And not all his fault. Not all his fault. And this was a tough one for me because I believe in Daboll. I think Daboll is probably going to get another chance, deserves another shot. At another opportunity to be head coach. Most guys get that second opportunity. There are guys who don't. Jim Fossil, former Giant head coach, never got a second chance. Most guys get two. After that, unless you had success. So we'll talk about the Daboll firing. Should Joe Shane, the GM, have been fired? Who's going to be the next head coach? Who do we think might be the next head coach? What does that mean for the rest of the Giants season? We'll get to a lot of that tonight. I want to talk a little about this past weekend's games. I want to get to Don Mattingly. We have a little Christmas trivia thing coming up with Jeff and I. We're going to ask each other 5 trivia questions. We'll talk a little Jets. We'll talk about, this betting scandal in baseball. I want to talk a little bit about that before Jeff comes on because he doesn't talk baseball with me. Here's the problem, okay? And if anybody's out there, let me know you're hearing me because I don't have my regular setup this week. But, this is going to be a blockbuster one day. It might not be now. A couple of pitchers on the Indians tipping pitches and throwing pitches in the dirt, it's not a big deal. One of these days, this is going to turn into a huge, huge problem. When that is, how that is, I don't know yet. But to be honest, thank you, Robert. Appreciate it. I don't know how you fix it now. It's almost like the cat's out of the bag, right? You've made mainstream gambling, not baseball, but they've jumped in. And unfortunately, there's too many ways to affect the game. Okay? Could be as simple as, with all these prop bets, could be as simple as throwing one pitch in the dirt. What's the first pitch? Now, they have all sorts of algorithms, these online casinos. So they're watching. And I wonder, let me go back a little bit. I wonder what these players are thinking. There's a guy who's making $4 million a year. Not a ton of money in baseball terms, but for you and me, $4 million a year is a lot. Why would you risk it for a $20, $30, $40, $50,000 bet on a baseball game, on a pitch, on an inning, whatever it is, unless it's a compulsion? There's a guy. There's one of these guys for the Indians was making $4 million a year. Has a chance, I think, to make $30-something million in his contract, and he pissed it away for a $20-something thousand bet. Is it the allure of betting? I don't get it, But I'm not a compulsive gambler. I like to gamble. I like to bet, but I don't play the game. But I don't know how at this point these leagues keep from losing the integrity of these events. One of these days, the Super Bowl or the World Series, could even be the Stanley Cup. One of these sports is going to have some sort of allegation, maybe true or not, where there is a question of integrity of the game, where somebody dropped a pass on purpose, allowed a touchdown, took himself out of a game, and the sport itself will be affected. And I don't know at this point how you fix it. Like, I don't know how you govern that. Now, I know, again, I was talking about these online casinos. They have all these security companies, and they watch all these crazy bets, and all of a sudden $50,000 comes in on the third pitch of the Indians game, or how many balls to strikes on the first batter, or to the game. They can follow this, but at some point, if you're baseball or you're football and you know that there was an irregularity, you're more than likely going to kind of turn a blind eye to it. Nobody wants to self-report themselves. So unless the government, which should never get involved in anything more than the government, unless the government or some outside agency is going to start watching over all of this, there's going to be a time when somebody has to make a decision on whether to self-report. And could you imagine, like, 2 years from now, finding out that this year's Super Bowl was tainted in some way? It could have been simple as, the opening kickoff is going to be down for a touchback. It could be that simple. But the minute you call these things into question, you've opened up Pandora's box. And I don't know how you get out of it. I know that the leagues and the owners are making tons of money, but you're talking about guys who are billionaires, most of them billionaires, or just, long-time franchise owners like the Giants and the Bears, like the Yankees, the Cubs, where at some point you're going to have to decide whether the integrity of the game is more important than making the money from these people. And the problem now is it's become so easy that it's inevitable. Now, maybe if you get Matt, we've given up hope on you betting on these crazy schools, you sick bastard. But I think the only way to almost resolve it, obviously, is to ban these guys from the sport. So these two Indian pitchers are gone. But I also think that the government needs to step in, and there needs to be, at least, beside the fact of how much money they'll lose from losing their jobs, I think the threat of going to jail, and not the threat, these guys need to go to jail and for a long time, and then maybe, just maybe, you're going to affect these guys to the point where they'll say, hey, I can't do this. But I'm sorry, you get this 19, 20, 21-year-old kid playing at Ball State, like Matt says, and he looks up and, he's the quarterback, and the running back has a prop bet of, 40 yards rushing in the first quarter, 20 yards in the first quarter. And he says, screw it, I'm going to bet the under, or I'm going to bet the over. And he gives or takes the ball away from that guy more often than not to affect that play. For what? The thrill of it all? That is inevitable. And I don't know how you watch that enough. And again, at what point does the leagues go, okay, we know what happened, shut your mouth? So at some point, there's going to have to be an arbiter, somebody who watches these things and watches for these crazy bets. Where somebody all of a sudden bets $100,000 on the first pitch of the Cleveland Indians, Oakland A's game. Yes, Matt, you're right. They're all wins. So I don't know how you fix it, but some sport in the next few years is going to have a major, major scandal. It's going to happen. It's happening now. We had basketball a couple months ago, maybe a month ago. Now we got a baseball scandal. I'm sorry, but it's coming. And football's going to be the one, because football is the sport. And that will maybe knock sports, or at least football, off the peg. But we are going to head that way. Understand, somebody is, whether they're in deep to a bookie or somebody's extorting them, something's going to happen in the near future. And it's a shame, because it's going to ruin the sport. And I don't know how you fix it. I mean, it's all over the locker rooms. You can't make it any more clear that these guys should not be tipping off anything. They should be not taking themselves out of games. They should not be affecting the game for a bet. But when you're dealing with 1,500 football players, when you're dealing with 700 baseball players, and their families and their friends, it's inevitable that somebody's going to have a scandal in the World Series. And I'll go back again. Nobody's going to tell me that that the FBI started an investigation for 2 or 3 years and took down all these gangsters and a couple of basketball players and a current head coach. And that Shohei Ohtani, they did a 1-day investigation and decided that he wasn't guilty. Shohei Ohtani is more to it. His personal guy took the fall, but you're not going to tell me that Ohtani did not realize that somebody was siphoning his account for $500,000 every few weeks or a month. It's impossible. And to think that if that had gone full distance, and probably the second biggest name in baseball, maybe the second biggest name in sports at this point, wasn't all in on that, that's what I'm talking about. Some point down the line, a game, Super Bowl, probably, maybe World Series, NBA championship, the Ryder Cup, something will be affected by gambling in a negative way. And we're going to have a problem. And I don't know how that sport, 100 years ago when the Black Sox scandal, when the Chicago White Sox threw the World Series, no social media. You're not talking about millions of dollars flying around. And they got caught. And the sport took forever to fix. If it wasn't for Babe Ruth and all his home runs, it may not have done. May have never gotten fixed. We had the steroid scandal. And baseball recovered. It took some time. But baseball grew bigger and better. But I hate to think of the day when I'm standing here on this show and I have to tell you that the Super Bowl or the NFC or AFC championship game or some Thursday night game was affected by one of the players in a negative way. I like to make a bet like anybody else. I have fun. I have a couple buddies. We bet. My man Matt's the guru. Gives us a few bets. Some win, some lose. We have some fun. It keeps us It keeps us talking. That's what betting's all about. Not losing your shirt, not breaking the bank. But if you're a major league player, if you're an NFL superstar, even if you're a low-level offensive lineman, you should think more about the integrity of your sport and not bring that sport down. Because all it takes is one football game, one World Series game or baseball game where it's affected, the lawsuits will start, and the integrity of that sport will be damaged. And at this point, with social media and everything around it and the 24-hour cable news, that sport will probably never recover. And I'll tell you what, I think the one that's going to happen first is college football. Because you got these young kids who think they're impenetrable. They're never going to be affected. Nothing bothers them. They're making good money, not great money, but good money. And somebody's going to get them to the point where one of these bowl games, and now there's 12 teams in the playoffs, somebody is going to take the bait, and the integrity of college sports will be affected for years to come. So that's my opinion. I wanted to. I think it's sad. I think college football, college sports in general, but college football specifically, has been damaged by the nil. It's turned into the pros. It's almost like the minor leagues. Guys are bouncing all over the league like free agents all over the country, going, and we've talked about it. I think you're allowed to move once. That's it. If you move the second time, you have to sit out a year. I think there should be more penalties when that comes. It'll never happen. Don't get me wrong. It'll never happen. But at the end of the day, we need to preserve our sports. Politics has been what's the right word? Politics has been corrupted in the sense that we no longer can be bipartisan. You either love the Democrats or you hate them. You either love the Republicans or you hate them. You like the president or you don't like the president, regardless of who it was. There's no more, well, I like the guy. I don't agree with all his politics. That stuff's out the window. Our sports should be immune to that. I love baseball. I love football. Would it affect me? I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel if I found out that, last year's AFC championship game was fixed or there was some sort of scandal with it. I'm not sure. But I think the everyday person, the casual fan, would be affected by it. And I think that's something I hope never happens. I just say it's going to. It has to. There's just too many things. There's too many stupid people. And there's too many stupid people out there and too much money to be made. And again, like the problem I said, you got an Indians pitcher who's making $4 million a year with a contract that can net him $38 million. And he's betting thousands of dollars on a baseball game, on a pitch. Thousands, not millions, not hundreds of thousands of dollars, not even tens of thousands of dollars. He's making $7,000 for doing it. You're making $4 million a year. You put a pissing away for $7,000. It's ridiculous. But that's the point. That's my point with it. Is that, we're not talking about millions and millions of dollars where it's life-changing. That's just ego. That's just the thrill of it. And unfortunately, I don't see it changing. So anyway, Hard Rocket Sports here on November the 13th. Looking forward to a nice show. And I think Jeff just popped up. So I see it, Matt. Thank you very much. I'll try to get something in. Tonight's Jet game, Jets-Patriots, fun game. Maybe, it's funny. The Patriots were way up for 20 years. Then they hit kind of rock bottom. And then now they've kind of come up again, with one of the better young quarterbacks in the league, with a great veteran coach. And we'll see how much improved the Jets are off of 2 straight wins. I don't expect much, but if the Jets can hang in there tonight, pull out a win, keep it close, it could show us a little that there's a little culture change over there. But we lost Jeff again. So I'm looking forward to getting on to that. I don't know how long I'm going to stay on the air tonight. I would like to watch a little football. Let's see. How about Miami beating the Bills last week? And I got to watch a little of that game. I say it all the time. The Bills and the Lions are the two best, maybe even the Bengals, but the Bills and the Lions. In this league, you have such a short window to win. And, I'm holding my Giant stuff, by the way, until Jeff gets on. But, you have such a short window to win. And when you don't, you lose players. You can't pay everybody. You start turning over personnel. The chemistry changes. The personnel changes. And then you lose coaches. I mean, look at the Lions. 3 years ago, they should have been in the Super Bowl. They've regressed. They actually got knocked out of the playoffs. They lose their offensive and defensive coordinator in the same year. Both have gone on. Ben Johnson's done a nice job fixing up the Bears a little bit. Aaron Glenn's still a work in progress. So, the Bills have had chances to take that next step, and they're like the Knicks and the Bulls. Their Bulls, and they're the Knicks, and their Bulls is the Kansas City Chiefs. And at this point, I don't know if the Bills are strong enough to win. I don't. I don't know who is strong enough to win, but you're looking at teams like the Colts who are making a miraculous turn. We're talking about the Patriots with Drake May playing good football and a real head coach in Mike Vrabel. There are teams now that are stepping up that I don't know now if the Bills' time for a championship has gone past. Yeah, I agree with that, Matt. I do. I think the NFC. I think it's muddy in both conferences. Who are the best teams right now? I have a hard time saying the Colts are the best team, but they're playing great football. The Patriots. I was a big fan of the Tampa Bay Bucks, and they go get beat by Tampa, by New England. It's a very weird season. And I think we're starting to see the changeover. The Ravens aren't great. Who else? The Ravens aren't great. The Chiefs aren't great. Who are the great teams right now? I don't know. Again, I want to see the Seahawks. I want to see the Seahawks win. Let me get Jeff right on the phone. Jeff. Yo. Hefe. He's having a rough time tonight. But back to, the Dolphins are a bad football team who kicked the crap out of the Bills and played the perfect game. So, do I believe? Jeff, hey. Jeff, there you go. I'm hearing you now, Jeff. Jeff, you hear me? He froze again. Jeff, hey.
I can hear you. Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can. Now I can. You're a little better. How are we doing?
You can?
Yep. Now I can hear you. You're a little frozen, but I can hear you.
Do you have two screens up?
I don't know.
Do
for
you
some
have two
reason,
screens up?
I think so. Let me see if I can fix that.
I'm going to send you a picture of what I see right now.
Oof. Yeah, it's some new thing new layout again.
That's what
let's see. Huh. Wow. There's a lot of us on screen right now.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. That's a little better.
Oh.
How's that?
What's going on?
Not much, man. How's your week been?
As good as it's going to get. I knew. Well, everything was good up until today.
Oh, yeah. Why? Are you all right?
Yeah. No, I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
I'm fine. I left one of the bands today.
Oh, really? Which band have you walked away from? If I didn't guess, can I guess?
Middle-aged Hollywood's, yeah.
That was gonna be my guess. Oh, what happened? What happened now?
Some differences.
And
something was said, and I was like, oh, you know what? See you later.
Creative differences will get you every time. Creative differences will get you every time.
Yeah. Creative differences in a cover band. Yeah, there you go. It is what it is, right?
Well, listen, you can always start all over again, Jeffrey. That's all. I might play you. You all right, honey? Oh, I don't know.
What's that?
I'm talking to my wife. You're frozen again?
Oh, okay. What do you got? What is that?
That's my new guitar.
Oh, where did you get that? What kind of?
Hold
nice.
up, sorry.
What is it?
What? Is it? Yeah, it's fine over here, so I don't know. Thank you.
Is that an Ibanez? Is that
Sorry,
an
hold on.
Ibanez?
My phone slipped out. Sorry, what'd you say, Jeff?
Is that an Ibanez?
It is an Ibanez.
All right.
I'll serenade. Could you hear it all?
I can hear it.
It's got a nice sound. I like it.
Oh, nice. What kind of amp you got down there?
Huh?
What kind of amp are you playing with?
Just a little Black Star, a little
Oh,
practice amp. Yeah, it's a nice little. Yep, just a little something I keep down here just to play a little bit. But so Jeff, it's been a busy week. How was your week other than walking away from your band? How was your week otherwise?
Now the not bad, but now the hell part starts.
Oh, what's the hell part?
Like today.
Why?
Oh, well, one, I quit the band. Two, tomorrow I'm having somebody come over the house to paint. Saturday, we got to run out and do whatever it is we got to do, last minute stuff before we leave for my nephew's wedding. Sunday, I got to leave here at like 9 a.m, go to take my mother and father's friends down to their house so that they'll watch their dog. Come back, not come back. Pick up my parents, go down to the wedding. Race down there. I got to be there at 1 o'clock so we can get into the room. Go to the wedding, finish up, and come home Monday morning.
Wow, busy weekend.
Can't wait to go to work Tuesday.
Well, I can't believe young Greg is getting married. That's good for him. Congratulations.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, very nice, man. Very nice. So, let's get to some football talk. I don't know how long we'll stay on the air tonight, but obviously the big news of the week, Jeff, is of course the firing of Brian Daboll, and I'm a big Brian Daboll fan. I was and still am probably, and I never liked firing coaches in the middle of the years. Managers, coaches, I don't think it. I'll tell you the reason why I'm single, because my football. Man, there's a lot more reason why you're a single guy, but that's the least of it. But let's get past that. But I think it.
Wait, I have to.
Go ahead. You have to jump in on that one.
I kind of got to rebut that, man. I mean, listen, if football is what makes you happy, that's great. I'm going to be stuck in the car, not stuck in the car, but I'm going to have my parents in the car, and they're getting, they're in their early 80s. They're getting forgetful, and it's probably going to be a 6 or 7 hour ride down to where we have to go, because that'll be my luck. And I'll hear the same story 17 times. And then when I say something, they'll totally forget that they told me the previous 16 times. And then I'm nasty because I said something. And exhausting, well, parts of it are going to be.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And expensive, too. Let's not forget that.
Let's not forget that it will be expensive.
Present. I got to pay my fucking mortgage before we go. There's a lot going on.
No, it's not cheap. I get it.
No,
my son Chris.
I don't want to be me for the next couple of days.
My son Chris is getting married in Punta Cana next year, and it's not a cheap vacation. Believe me, I tell you.
I would tell him I'm afraid of flying.
Yeah, well, it's my son, and I'll tell you the truth. I've never been this way, but I'm very leery of leaving the country at this point in my life. There's so many bad stories and there's so many crazy stories that I've gotten to the point where I just say, if I keep my feet in the US of A, I'm a happy camper. And even that's not the greatest thing in the whole world sometimes, but it's still better.
Where is that? Mexico? Where they get
Punta
married?
Cana is in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, and when are they getting married?
April of next year.
All right. Well, at least it's not in the middle of hurricane season.
No, it's definitely not. No, it's
So
just
you got that much. At least you're not going down there with the threat of like 400-mile-an-hour winds coming on the day of the wedding, and they're like, "No, we're going to try it anyway and see what happens."
Look at this, Matt. This is for Matt. This is what it's all about, Matt. Faith, family, and football. That's what life is all about. So I'm with you. But the Brian Day. Let's get back to Brian Daboll.
Sure.
And I know you've been less likely to think of him as a good coach. I think Brian Daboll's done a decent job up until this year. And my problem this year, Jeff, is not an X's and O's thing. It's more a winning culture thing. And I've gotten to the point now, and after Sunday's loss, I've gotten tired of being the better team for 3 quarters and then finding a way to lose and not be able to pump the brakes. And, to me, somebody had to get fired. After Sunday's loss to the Bears, I would have fired the defensive coordinator, kept Daboll. I don't like firing coaches in the middle of the year. I think it doesn't do anything but create chaos unless the team has disintegrated. And this team is not. It's still a team. They're playing well. They just don't know how to win. But I understand the firing of Brian Daboll. How do you see it at this point?
Well, let's be serious here for a minute, okay? His record wasn't stellar. He didn't really do anything to help his cause out. And I understand that a lot of it was defensive breakdowns.
Yep.
That was quite obvious. Maybe you're right. Maybe the defensive coordinator should have been fired first. But, sometimes the owners and general managers feel as though that a coaching change will light a fire under some people. I would be more concerned that you have a rookie quarterback in Jackson Dart who lost his running back, who was an important piece. I'll even go as far as to say he was more important than Malik Neighbors because him and Malik Neighbors didn't play that much together.
Okay.
What did a game together?
Fair enough. Yep. Maybe, yeah.
Scatterbo was just a much more, they were getting time together. They were playing together. They were getting acclimated together.
Yep.
Now you lost your wide receiver, your number 1 wide receiver at that. You lost your running back, who took over pretty much as your number 1 running back.
Agreed.
Your defensive coordinator was let your team down by not keeping them in the game late and was horrible at what they were doing. And now you fired your head coach with a rookie quarterback. Here's a bigger question. I don't care what Jackson Dart does now. When the next coach comes in, are they going to stick with Jackson Dart? You got to think what happens now. Is this guy going to be the number 1 quarterback for the Giants? Is somebody else going to come in and not see the same thing that maybe Brian Daboll saw and say, listen, I don't want this guy. I think that this one will be better. This guy will be better. I mean, that could happen. There's a lot of things that could happen.
Sure. No, I don't disagree with that. I just say I've seen enough of Jackson Dart that if you're the next head coach, you'd be crazy to think you can draft another guy who you don't know and pass on a guy that you're watching play the game well. Now, to your point, you bring another head coach. He's got a different offensive philosophy. He brings a different offensive coordinator. What happens with Jackson Dart's progression? That's the question that I don't know the answer to. And I don't know if anybody will for now. I do think that Jackson Dart has the real deal to be a good NFL quarterback. I don't know if he'll be great, win a Super Bowl, but
I'm not saying that he's going to be great, all right? But I'm going to say this much. I agree with you. I think he was proven that he was a step in the right direction for the Giants, okay? He definitely was a step up from what they had. Russell Wilson doesn't seem to have anything left in the tank.
I agree.
But then again, Brian Daboll also, to me, kind of proved that he wasn't doing anything with a quarterback. Daniel Jones is having a phenomenal season in Indianapolis, and he couldn't do that with the Giants. Now, I'm not saying that he's awful, whatever. I'm not going to get into that. But, I mean, Daboll seemed to have clicked a little bit with Jackson Dart, and
Yeah.
they were getting a rapport together, but you just don't know what's going to happen, man.
No, I agree with you, but I think the Giants, and Frank, I disagree with you. They may have the number 1 pick, number 2 pick, number 3 pick. That's where it's headed. I get it. They're not taking a quarterback. Jackson Dart is the New York Giants quarterback next year, and they are not drafting a quarterback not that high. I mean, it's possible they could take one in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. Who knows? I doubt it. This team still needs players. They need another wide receiver opposite of Neighbors. You can always get better on the defensive line. You can use another corner. You can use the linebackers on this team. So the Giants
they're a team in flux. They need a lot of different things.
Well, every team does.
Let's go back. Well, let's concentrate on these guys for a while.
Sure.
The New York Giants, Malik Neighbors, didn't he get hurt last year or the year before? Didn't he spend some time in the IR or something?
Yeah.
IR, but he got injured before, right?
Sure, absolutely.
Will you consider him injury prone?
No, not yet. I don't think so. This isn't. To me, guys who are injury prone are guys who get like hip flexors and quad pulls, and they're out for 4 weeks with a hamstring. When you tear an ACL, that is not injury prone to me. But no,
that was a non-contact. No, it wasn't a non-contact.
Well, it was one of those where he jumped up in the air to make a catch, and you could see before he was fully up there, his knee was gone, and by the time he hit the ground, he was done. So
he fucking shredded it up before he.
Yeah, he was stopping to make a catch and jump up in the air, and I guess
Yeah, now that you're saying that, I kind of remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would not say, but I mean, this team needs stuff, and the last thing they're going to do is draft another quarterback next year, regardless of who the coach is. Hey, Will Cloak, how you doing, pal?
Oh, what's up, man?
Yeah. So again, let's work our way through this. The first thing I would say is, do you agree at this point? Would you have, if you're the Giants owner or the owner of the team, would you have fired the defensive coordinator for blowing all these games, or would you have held the feet to the fire of the head coach and fired him? Do you agree with the Giants' move at this point?
Kind of, yes. I don't know if firing the defensive coordinator would have been enough. How long Daboll's been there? This was his 4th season. They were like 20 games under 500 under him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you got to take into consideration. They've been 2-8, like 3-4 years in a row?
Yes, this is the 2nd year in a row. They were 2-8. But again, Jeff, here's the thing, though. Everybody before the season expected the Giants to be 2-8 at this point. The problem is
they met expectations, all right.
Well, yeah, I agree. But I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem has been that there's 3 games, for sure, maybe 4th if I want to count the Saints. But the Cowboy game, the Giants are winning with 25 seconds left, and they blow it defensively. They're up 19 points in the 4th quarter against the Broncos.
Now, hold on. The Cowboys game, in all fairness, they lost by a field goal, correct?
Correct, but you're winning with 25 seconds left, and you lose the game. That's a game you can't lose.
No, you're right. But you know what? Losing it because the other team kicked the last-minute field goal is one thing. A collapse like what happened against Denver was just, there's no, even though the defensive coordinator was responsible, sometimes maybe Daboll's got to step in and be like, well, what the fuck?
No. I agree with you. At the end of the day, the head coach is the guy who's in charge. I mean, if you don't like what's being called, you have to step in. Absolutely.
If you're letting the defensive coordinator call the defense and it's not working, you have to step in, and you know that, and you have to be like, just move over to the side. Everything goes through me now.
Yeah.
This can't happen. You know what I mean? And it happened on more than once. What was there, like 3 big losses for them over the season?
Well, you got the Cowboy game with they were up 25 points with they were up 3 points with 25 seconds left, or 2 points with 25 seconds left, and they blew it. You're up 19 points in the 4th quarter against Denver. You lose that. And then this week, you're up 10 points with 5 minutes to go against the Bears, and you lose that game. And you lost to the Saints, who were terrible, where you had a chance to win that game and just blew it. There's been 4 games that the Giants should have won this year, where if you turn those 4 games around, it's a whole different season. You're 5-4 with a chance of the playoffs.
Well, listen, that any team that has any amount of losses, especially that way, they could all turn around and say that. Like, if I didn't lose those games, I'd be in the playoffs.
No, but it's one. Listen, it's one thing to say, "Hey, I got beat. It wasn't close." It's another thing to say, "I'm up 19 points in the fourth quarter. I'm up 25 with I'm up 3 with 25 seconds left, or I'm up 10 with 5 minutes left, and I don't win the game." That's bad losses. That's the problem for Daboll.
I agree with you, but I'm sorry. The one against Dallas, they refresh my memory on this one. Dallas, they were winning by 3. Dallas hit a field goal, and then they lost that one in overtime, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
See, that to me, I could deal with that. I could deal with that. That was early in the season. They were still getting their legs underneath them. Yes, defensively, it was a breakdown, but you know what? To have a team kick a field goal, and like you were still winning until you had they kicked the field goal.
Yeah.
You still had a chance. The other losses, they were just collapses. They weren't even losses.
Correct. I agree. And that's why he lost his job. And I agree with that. My problem is I don't see what you get by firing the head coach at that point. Now, again, so here's the thing. So the defense has been the big problem. You keep the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, keep the defensive coordinator.
But you fire the head coach. So it doesn't make any sense to me. But again, at the end of the day, Brian Daboll's the head coach. And if you don't win games and you lose, and it's one thing to not win games. Again, before the season started, if we ran their record, I guarantee you would have been at the very least 2-8, let alone maybe even worse than that. But the problem is you had a chance to win 3, maybe 4 of those games, and you didn't let it happen, and you didn't change it to fix it. That's why Brian Daboll got fired. And I think at the end of the year, he deserved to be fired based on not winning those games and not fixing these things week to week. But I would have fired the defensive coordinator, and Daboll would have finished the season out. Now, the question is, what happens from here? So the question is, okay, Jackson Dart, concussion, do you play him the rest of the year? Who's the next head coach? How do you proceed from here if you're the New York Giants, Jeff?
Well, one, as far as Dart with his concussion, let's see how long it takes him to get his head clear. If this is something that in 2 weeks his head is clear and you're 2-10 or 2-11 or whatever the case your record may be, you may consider shutting him down or using him as the backup.
Right.
If you're not going to the playoffs, you know that already, regardless.
Right, but do you stunt his growth? Like if you let him play, right? You let him play, and he gets better and better and better, or whatever, and you avoid the injuries, or maybe he gets hurt, but he gets better and better. Or do you shut him down and say, "All right, we're going to prop you in bubble plastic"? Does that help you for next year when he's the full time from the start of the season?
I don't know, Tom. I really don't know. I guess you got to see what the mindset of the team itself is too. If you think that the team is just going out there and playing out the string at that point in time, maybe you don't want to put him out there. But if you feel as though that they're like, okay, Jackson's back, man, this is good. Let's get out there. Let's go show what we can do. What happened?
I don't know. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, to me, if you could tell that the team is just like, here we go, we got to get out there again, and that they don't want to play, as opposed to like if they can't wait for Jackson Dart to be back. He's back. Our man is here. Our guy is here. That's a completely different story. You may want to throw him out there and see what's going on. Right. But I mean, what had happened with the concussion? He was running, and his head slammed on the turf. So it wasn't like he got sacked or there was a breakdown on the line, right?
That's the other problem is that most people don't understand why. He's been. The one negative to Jackson Dart is also a positive, is that he's a tough kid who fights for every yard. And as a guy who loves the game, I want that from my players. I want them to fight for every yard. I want them to fight, but you have to be smart. And he's reckless in the sense that, he's going to fight for that extra foot, 5, but to call running plays consistently for the quarterback, you're only putting him in jeopardy. And that's the question of the day is, do you play him and wrap him in bubble plastic? Do you sit him on the bench and play Jameis the rest of the way, which is what I would do to a certain extent? But again, I want this kid to get better and better. The problem is, for what reason? I don't have great players out there around him. I don't have, Malik. I don't have Scatterbo. I do like the way the offensive line's playing, but am I putting this kid out there, and what if he gets another concussion or he blows out a knee? These are the things you have to think about.
Well, listen, I mean, guys get hurt just standing there sometimes.
Absolutely.
We had a friend, Jerry, that blew his knee out just standing around.
Tom,
I got to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. I'm sorry. I didn't get a chance to go before.
Yeah, I agree with Matt. Like I would play Dart because I want him to get better and better. I want him to go into next year with a ton of experience. What I don't want is to call plays on design runs that aren't specific for touchdowns, like in the red zone, or if you needed to gain 5 yards. I think guys got to play the game, and they're going to get hurt or they're not going to get hurt. And I want them to play. I just have to be smart. I'm not calling Dart on a running play, 1st and 10 at my 20-yard line. I don't want him subjected to that. I think that's the thing you have to be smart about. When you play, 3rd and 3 on their 47, trying to get a first down, run the ball with Jackson Dart if it's there. But I don't like the quarterback design run. Just, he fumbled, got hurt, and that was it. And, the whole thing's changed. So, again, Hard Rocket Sports, Judge MVP. He deserved it. I'm sorry. I know they were talking about Raleigh, this kid from Seattle. And listen, 60 homers for anybody, let alone a catcher, is a great feat. But he's not the best player in baseball. And I think Judge is. I think at this point, Judge is the best player in baseball. Now, what does that mean? What's his? I think it's his third MVP. I mean, Judge is a Hall of Famer at this point. Again, his Yankee legend isn't there yet. But congratulations to Judge on winning an MVP here. Easily the best player in baseball. I know Ohtani. People will talk about Ohtani all day. You could argue Soto may be the best hitter in baseball. I would argue that. He got hit 40 homers, hits 2 change, but Judge is hitting 300s. He's hitting 50 homers a year. I think there's yeah, Matt, that's the problem. You can keep him in there throwing passes. You run when you have to. You play the game, but to run him on power runs just for the sake because he might be your best player out there, I think it's just unwise. You have to think about the long term. This kid blows out a knee now. He's out till next November. You got to be smart. I like the fact that they're not rushing him back. I want Winston to play. I don't want to see Russell Wilson. So, yeah, he does need to get his prostate checked, but that's a different story. Hard Rocket Sports, Jeff and Tom here Thursday night. It's 8 o'clock. We'll hang in another half hour. Big game, Jets and Patriots tonight. Looking forward to watching a little Thursday night action. Great slate of football coming up this weekend. Let me, if I have the slate in front of me. Giants, 1 o'clock this week. Playing the Packers. Packers are a weird team. That's a weird division. But we're starting to see this might be the most confusing season to me in the era of this modern era of football because, the teams you expect to be great, the Lions, the Bears, the Chiefs, I don't think are great. I really don't. I think they're good teams, obviously. You have the secondary teams like the Colts. Be careful, the Patriots playing good football right now. Rams and Seahawks. I think the Seahawks have the same problem that the Vikings had last year. That's Sam Darnold. Which Sam Darnold do I watch? Which Sam Darnold do I get in the playoffs? Do I get great regular season Sam Darnold and then, the ghosts pop up? yes, I think the Rams are better than most people say. That whole Vikings, Packers, Lions, and even the Bears are a better team. So there's a lot. I mean, what are the 49ers? The Eagles don't impress me. I know they win, but they don't impress me. Who are the best teams in football right now? Is it the Colts? I gotta tell you, I have a hard time going against the Colts right now. It's not one of the best teams in football. I just don't. I mean, they run the ball well. They're getting great quarterback play. They're playing well enough on defense. The Tampa just took a hit for losing last week to the Patriots. This is a very tough season, and I'd like it because you don't know where the AFC and NFC championship games are going to be played this year at this moment. You're not telling me it's Kansas City. You're not telling me it's upstate in Buffalo. You don't know where the championship games in football are going to be played this year. So I think that's a good thing for football. I think, Jeff, you're starting to see some new teams step up and make some noise, and I think it's fun.
Tell Matt that area is fine. It wasn't that kind of trip.
Uh-huh.
That was lunch, looking to go out on the town. Actually, I took him to the water park.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Not good. Colts beat the Broncos on a BS call. Frankie, I agree with you, but they're still 8-2. We can tell them that it's a terrible call, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I would put the Broncos in that category too. They're playing good football. That might be the best defense in the league right now.
Can we get honest here? Can we get honest?
Yeah.
The only people on the planet that want to see Denver succeed are the people that live in Denver. Nobody else gives a flying shit about the Broncos. It wasn't a bad call. They did what they had to do to stop them. Okay, let's hope that Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Taylor Swift and the rest of the Kansas City Chiefs could overcome this scourge known as the Denver Broncos and put them out of commission for the rest of the year, please.
Well, I mean, listen, there's a lot. There's that division's kind of up in the air. The Broncos, the Chargers 7-3, who I don't believe in. The Chiefs are 3 games back out of the first. I mean, they're not even in the playoffs, I think, at this point.
No, I think you're right. I think they're out on the outside looking in. But you want to know something? Until they have the E in front of their name in the standings, man, I definitely would be worried about facing them in the playoffs because they have experience. They're a playoff team. I hate Frank because you're sitting at home right now. You're all twisted. You're mad. Your night is all fucked up because I said that. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it. Seattle and the Rams are 7-2. Frisco 6-4. They're still in it. You look around. You got Tampa at 6-3, winning their division. Carolina's 5-5. Nobody's buying in. You got Detroit. The Bears. Detroit and the Bears are 6-3 each, and then the Packers are 5-3.
Now hold on one second. The Bears and the Lions each at 6-3.
Yep.
What is it? Is a bigger surprise Chicago 6-3 or a bigger disappointment that the Lions are 6-3?
It's a great question. I would say it's the Bears at 6-3. I think that's a bigger surprise at this point.
Because 6-3, they're not a bad team, but they're definitely not what they were last year.
No, agreed. I agree with you.
I don't want your sympathy, Frank. Fucking keep it. Oh, and by the way, Soto, did he win the MVP this year? I don't think so, right?
No, he did not.
No, he didn't. I didn't think so.
Again,
I love kissing him off.
I think the shift and the change in guard. I mean, listen, this is a very strange NFL season. When I look up and I see the Indianapolis Colts, led by Daniel Jones, could easily have the number 1 seed in the AFC. This is a strange season to me. But let's get back. Let's get back to the Giants. I want to finish up.
I got to ask before you go too far from there. Let's just say that Indianapolis gets the first seed, number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah,
and you get the bye. Are they going to be a team to be reckoned with in the playoffs? Are they a true number 1 seed? You think?
Right now, Jeff, I don't love their defense, but they run the ball so well, and Jones is playing good football. So, I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't love them in a matchup against the Broncos because the Broncos can score points, although not great offensively, but I love their defense. But if that game's in Mile High, I love the Broncos. If that game's in Indianapolis, boy oh boy, I gotta tell you, I don't think that the Broncos can compete with the Colts on that level. Imagine this is the game we're talking about now. This isn't Peyton Manning and John Elway. We're talking about Bo Nix versus Daniel Jones, and we're talking that as a possible AFC championship game.
Frank Carolano, it's why else do I hate the Broncos? It's not that I hate the Broncos. I don't know nothing about the Broncos. I don't, other than Bo Nix is their quarterback. I just want to see everybody else in the world miserable until the Jets win. I couldn't give a fuck less about anybody else's team other than the team that I root for, the Jets, who are disgusting and suck. But I don't want you to have any kind of winning season. I don't want you to have any joy in football time. I want you to be miserable. Fuck the Broncos, the Giants, the Cowboys, the Dolphins, everybody. Fuck everybody except the Jets. Just 1 year. That's all I asked for is 1 year. 1 year. That's it.
You guys did beat the Browns last week. I give you that much.
So they won the Super Bowl of Ohio. Big
yes. Deal. Well, let's see. Tonight's a big game because I want to see this Patriot team is, I think, a little underrated. I would be afraid if I had to go in to Foxborough in December. This is a good football team with a good head coach and a quarterback who's getting better and better. I would tell you, stay away from Foxborough this year if you can help it, because that's a good football team. Not a great team, but a good team.
I agree with you. They're a team. You know what? They put the right people in place. Now, here's something the New York Jets should do, and maybe the Giants. Try to hire somebody from the fucking Patriots scouting department. Okay? Because I don't give a shit what anybody says, how good the coach is, how good this guy is, the offensive coordinator, nothing. If your scouting department sucks, you're going to tell these guys to draft these players. These are the guys that we've been watching. Where's he from? Well, he's from West Pennsylvania State, and he's really good. I think you should draft him number one. Okay. And then he sucks because he turned out he's playing against high school kids or something. And you need a good scouting department. The Jets don't have it, and these other teams do. And they're able to build, especially the Patriots. The Patriots I would think the Patriots right now are probably the most solid team in the AFC East.
Oh, yeah, I would agree with that. I think right now, Buffalo has taken a major step back, and it's a shame because they've waited. They're kind of the Yankees of the NFL, because the Yankees are wasting Aaron Judge's career and his prime, and I think the same is happening to Buffalo with Josh Allen. That guy is a beast who plays every down hard, and they just can't seem to win the big games. I mean, they got I watched that game. They got manhandled by the Dolphins. I mean, the Dolphins suck.
I remember watching. Well, I didn't watch it, but I was following along on ESPN and checking out the box scores and everything else. And it's it is what it is. They same thing with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's an awesome quarterback, excellent quarterback. He's on a team that's just not performing to where he is. Yeah. And you can't, these guys, evidently, they cannot carry these teams. Josh Allen falls short every year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, no. And that's the problem is, it's kind of like the Lions we were talking about earlier, is I think Buffalo's chances were 2 years ago when they lost that big game in Kansas City, when they gave up
Hold on. I'm sorry. Frank Carolano, what the fuck does that mean? I have never once ever seen a Jet fan take the snap and do anything with the ball on the field, tackle a player, intercept, pick up a fumble, nothing. It has nothing at all to do with the Jet fans. It's totally the Jet players. Do not bring the Jet fans into it. They're not on the field. We have every right. 1969. Do you remember it? I know I don't. I was still pissing and shitting myself. Probably everybody else right now on this show commenting was pissing and shitting themselves back then.
I would agree with that. Yes, I would agree with
Nobody remembers 1969. Yes, Karma. Get the fuck out of here. I hope it snows every fucking home game in Denver. 3 feet. And they can't get to the stadium, and they got to forfeit.
Well, it looks like Garrett Wilson's out of tonight's game, injured reserve, which kills me. It's killing my fantasy team. He's been out pretty much a good part of the year.
Dude, your fantasy team, you should just fold.
Nope, we don't give up for nothing. We will hang
You
in
don't have
there.
any players.
I don't. You're right. Chris Godwin's out. Let's see who else. Pacheco's questionable. Godwin's doubtful. Garrett Wilson's on IR. Joe Burrow's on IR. It's been a travesty from the beginning, and we're building toward next year, Jeff. That's all we can do. We're built into
Somebody don't want to hear your shit.
Exactly. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit, but that's okay.
I got to tell you, this year, Frank Catalano, I'm glad you're here for this. Because me and Tommy talked about this the other day. Never in any other previous year that I've been playing in this league have I seen so many people score 200 plus points.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Yes.
God, you want to talk about stacked? Was there money exchanged under the table to get some of these teams?
Yeah, I can't score 40 points in a week. These guys are scoring 200 points a week. I look up every time I try to get a team on the field, somebody's injured, somebody's out. Here we go. Listen, I will put my team up there every week, and we will compete, and we will do the best we can. But let's get back to the Giants. I want to finish up. So, Jeff, Dart playing, I would play him, and I would just baby it a little bit. I would not give him so many design runs. Not who specifically. What type of coach? If you were John Mara, Steve Tisch, do you want the next great assistant coach? Do you want a guy who's done it in college? Do you want the veteran head coach? Who would you put in at this point to run the New York Giants?
I don't know a name, but I know this. I would want to make sure that he's an offensive guru. I want the best offensive coach that I can get. Because at this point in time, the old Giant teams that won by defense, that's over. You're already showing that you have the beginnings of a defense that is never going to beat people and hold on to leads in the fourth quarter now.
Very true.
You have three key pieces on offense. You got Malik Neighbors, Scatterbo, and you got Jackson Dart. How about gearing the team towards an offensive team? And let's see what we can do to get this team running offensively. That if you're going to let your defense is going to give up 35 points a week, I want to be able to score 38 points. I want to be able to, if I'm in a shootout, I want to be able to survive. I don't want to be hiding behind a rock. You know what I mean?
No, I got you. And you're not far off. I'll tell you what I want. I don't want the next big assistant. I don't want the next college coach like Matt Rule, who I love at Nebraska. Or
look what happened to him. He came into the NFL. He's gone.
Yeah.
He is he even in the NFL as a coordinator? I don't hear his name at all. So I don't.
Matt Rule is the head coach of Nebraska Cornhuskers at this point.
So he went back to college.
Yes. And I don't want that. I want a veteran head coach. I want the Giants to trade for Mike Tomlin. I want the Giants to take John Gruden. I want a CEO. I want a guy who runs the team and hires the two best coordinators he can get his hands on and runs the football team. I don't want to hear about my coach being, the offensive coordinator. I don't want him to run one side of the football and disappear. I want him to be the head coach of the football team, and I want him to run the game the way it's supposed to. I want Gruden. I want Tomlin. I want a guy like that for the Giants. I don't want the next great assistant head coach. I just don't.
Well, you're talking about a team that, hasn't been very good as of late the last couple of years.
Yep.
You may end up getting stuck with another coach to say, and this is the problem with the Jets, and I don't care what anybody says. They're stuck with a coach or getting coaches that you don't want because the coaches that could do something don't want to come here. Because it's a fucking dumpster fire, and I don't blame them. So until you get a team that is semi-built or heading in the right direction, I just, no. I don't know what more to say. You can't just turn around and say, you're going to be my head coach. Because they're just going to turn around and be like, no, thank you. I don't want that position. You know what I mean? And, listen, it's hard to find somebody because the coaches want to win too. The NFL has proven Now Daboll's been there. He played basically coach for 3.5 seasons, four seasons, 4 calendar years, but 3.5 seasons. Okay.
Mhm.
In the past, maybe that coach would have gotten a 5-year deal and would have stayed for 5 years. And then they would have evaluated and say, you know what, the team got better. You know, like to me, you compare the Giants to the Jets. When they had Robert Saleh, they were putting up 7 and 10 seasons. Now they got a coach, okay, first year, I understand that, but they won 7 games with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, 7 games.
Yeah.
Okay. Zach Wilson's not even playing right now. Or getting close to playing in the NFL. And he's with Miami, right?
Last I saw he was, yeah. I don't know.
And they got fucking Tua, and he's not close to getting on the field.
Yeah.
You know, that's got to be telling you something. And the Jets won 7 games with him. Now, I'm not going to say that Aaron Glenn is a failure, because it's hard to say. You know, there was a lot, but there were a lot of things that they did not get him. They did not get him a second wide receiver. So, you know, give these coaches a little bit of time. But Daboll had 4 seasons, and he was in the playoffs one of those seasons. He should have built on something. Something should have happened. Definitely the defensive coordinator should have been crucified for this.
I agree, and that's on Daboll for not either taking away the responsibilities, promoting somebody else, or firing the guy outright. So that's on Daboll, and he pitched his season on that guy, and he burnt him out. So he lost his job because he did not fix what needed to be. You know, you're scoring 20, 30 points a game in the NFL, and you're winning double digits in the fourth quarter. You need to win those games. Whoever common range your bat is, thank you for joining us tonight. I disagree. I still think the Giant head coaching spot is a spot where you will get the best of the best. And because by all accounts, working for the Giants is a premium position. Ownership is great. The facilities are great. Players still want to come here. They spend the money. I think
as bad as they've been, players still want to come to the Giants, and I don't understand that. I really don't.
Again, I think it's legacy. I think it's a lot of it's funny. They do that survey at the end of the year, and players kind of comment on the best places to play for locker rooms and training staffs, and that. And the Giants are always very high, and the Jets are always very low. And in fact, Woody Johnson's been going out of his way to try to fix the culture of that. But the Giants don't have that problem. They have good ownership. They've been around for over 100 years. They've got the legacy of winning football games. The facilities are great. All of that. There is enough of a legacy of winning that teams will come here. But taking a head coaching spot is the question. Now, I don't think you'll have a problem convincing somebody to coach the New York Giants next year. I think you'll find a coach. Now the question is finding the right head coach, I think, is the question. And I think anybody who comes in, there's no way in the world Joe Shane and Mara and Tish are going to say, okay, we're going to get rid of Jackson Dart and draft a different quarterback. First off, next year's draft is not great for quarterbacks. It's not.
Well, let me ask you this. He came and says that if they get a new head coach, well, what are they going to do for a coach? They fired their head coach. They need a new head coach.
See, I disagree. I disagree with that because I think the Giants have some talent now. The offensive line has been much better this year. Tight end, I think Gio Johnson has played well. Yeah, he drops too many passes, but he's been better. I like Bellinger as a second guy. I think they need another guy opposite of Neighbors with Wan'Dale Robinson in the slot. I think the running back is solid. Defensively, they don't stop the run, and that's the problem. But I think I think it's fixable. I do think this Giant team with the right head coach, another year of free agency, and you know what, Jeff, we kind of skipped over. You fired the head coach, but you kept the GM who brought in the head coach with him.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Yeah. So, and I'll tell you why. I think Joe Shane, other than the handling of the Saquon Barkley nightmare, and again, I don't disagree with him for getting rid of Barkley. I said it beforehand. You can't pay him. He's too injury prone. He went out and had a great year. They win the Super Bowl. I'm not knocking Joe Shane for that. Joe Shane has brought in good players. He made a great move last year getting Jackson Dart and trading up into the first round to get him. Neighbors was a good pick. Scatterboo in the 3rd or 4th round is a good pick. Joe Shane has done the Brian Burns trade. Joe Shane's done a nice job. There's some talent here. So I disagree about 3 to 4 years. I think in the NFL, Jeff, we both know that you could turn it around in a year or two, but like the Lions, and some other teams, you could also drop off the face of the earth in 2 years.
Yeah, of course. You could jump off the face of the earth in no time at all, of course. But you want to know something? Let's just say that a new coach comes in, okay? Next year that this is not a team that's going to all of a sudden go 14-3. Okay.
Okay. No, you're right. Go ahead.
Well,
go ahead. I'm with you.
Okay. So that brings us to year 2. So you got to hope that they draft right. You got to hope that they develop players and everything is going in the right direction. Then you got yourself year 2. Okay. So they're a little bit better in year 2. So then you're probably looking at a successful year, playoff bound, and do some damage in years 3 or 4, without a doubt. I could go along with that to an extent.
Uh-huh.
But depending on the players that you got, do you know what their cap situation is?
It's not too bad next year. There's some guys coming off the books next year. So I don't think they're as good as the Jets. I think the Jets have like $90 million to spend next year. If I'm not mistaken.
They're gonna.
I think the Giants are in decent shape. They made they took some money off the books. So you're still another year or 2 away from having to pay neighbors big money. Obviously, Dart's going to his 2nd year. So I do think the Giants are in good shape cap-wise. They're not great shape, but good shape.
I'm just curious to see because, this is a team where you're going to have to get some players on that team via free agency. You're going to have to do it that way. You know that.
Oh, you have to do it both ways, yeah.
Well, of course you have to do it both ways, but if you want to get this team fixed in a hurry and get it going in the right direction, and if you want to make sure that you have the right quarterback, maybe drafting certain people are not going to work. Maybe you're going to need a more established player, and you can get that player via free agency. So, it depends. But once again, these constant overturns of coaching staffs, who actually is in charge of the scouting department? Is that its own thing? Do they report to the owner? Do they report to the general manager?
To the general manager.
So every time they change the general manager, listen, Frank, until they win, they're right where they are. Down the
Giants. The Giants have about $30 million at this moment without cutting players and renegotiating salaries. The Giants have $30 million to spend on the cap next year.
And here's another thing too, like just not to get off the subject of the Giants. I like that we're actually talking about the Giants a little bit more this week than we are the Jets. The Jets have 5 first-round picks. The Jets have 4 second-round picks, I believe. When was the last time that the Jets hit on a first-round pick? Never mind a second-round pick. And they had 3 number 1 picks in a round in 2022, 2023, and they traded one of those players away. And one of them is injured right now. So they didn't accomplish anything. They accomplished nothing. So they drafted 3 good players, but accomplished nothing. And one of them they just got rid of. It's not easy, man. It's not.
No. And I,
this is why I want Denver to fucking lose. 45 years ago, they drafted that guy.
Johnny Lamb, one of the fastest players ever to play the game. Couldn't catch. I think if you tape the ball to his hands, you still drop it.
He ran right out of the fucking league too.
Oh yeah, he ran so fast he ran himself out of the league. Is right. Again, I was mixed. I knew that at the end of the season, Daboll was gone. My question was, were they going to make it a package deal? And I disagreed. I wanted Shane to stay. I think Shane's done a nice job of drafting.
He's staying right now.
Yes. Yeah. There's no way, I think there's got to be some continuity. I think Shane's done a nice job. Again, the one negative for me has been the handling of the Saquon Barkley thing. And again, I think that's the problem is the TV thing. But short of that, he's brought in some good players. He's fixed the offensive line. He's changed a little bit of culture. And again, I don't think Daboll did a terrible job as head coach. The problem for Daboll is you can't go 4 years losing games like this and then all of a sudden have opportunities to win these games and lose. If you went into these games, Jeff, and you just got beat week after week, you'd say, hey, we're outmatched, we're getting better, we'll get there. But when you're in the fourth quarter and you're leading double digits and you wind up finding ways to lose, at that point, the coach has got to pay the price, and he did.
Yeah, but like you're the one that says that you're against firing a coach in midseason.
Yes, I don't like firing coaches in midseason unless it's a dumpster fire. Yes.
Oh, this was borderline 2-8. How many years in a row on your watch? It constitutes as a dumpster fire.
No, I disagree. Here's why I disagree with you. The Giants were playing competitive football. They're in every game. The problem is they lost the games they were in. That's the problem. But no, to me, if you're out there and you're losing games 35-7 and 28-3 and you're not competitive and the guys aren't playing hard, then I understand it. But you're in every game. The problem is you're not finding a way to shut the door on the other team. And for 3 quarters, you look like world beaters, and all of a sudden, the fourth quarter, you change your team, you change your philosophy, and you lose. And I think the Giant ownership has just said, "Hey, we're tired of losing games where we're winning in the fourth quarter by double digits." Good teams don't do that, and that's what cost Brian Daboll his job. If they, again, before the season, everybody said the Giants had the toughest first half schedule of any team, and people would be shocked if they won more than 1 or 2 games, and that's where they're at. So there's nothing surprising. The surprising part is that the games, beating the Eagles was a shock. Beating the Chargers was a shock. Then you're up in 4 other games in the fourth quarter and you blow it. That's what got him fired.
And listen, I can understand that, but you want to know something? It's that defense. You weren't.
Yes.
You weren't doing anything with the defense. The defense let it slip past you. Like you said, it was the fourth quarter that did it for them. But every team, regardless of who they are, where their standing is, has to play 4 quarters of football.
Absolutely. And that's on the head coach when you don't. That's on the head coach. And frankly, I do think it's a big deal because I think all you do is now what you're sending the message to your team is, it doesn't matter if you get better or worse. There's going to be a new coach next year. There's going to be new players here next year. Who cares? And that's the problem, that the message you're sending. If Daboll stay in there and they go on and they go on a run and he pushes that team and they go on a run and they win, I don't know, let's say out of the last 8 games, 7 games, they go 4-3. Doesn't get them to the playoffs, but they win 4-3. They play good football. You could say, hey, I got to play hard the whole way through because this guy might be back next year and I want an opportunity. But right now, these guys are all saying, Kafka's not going to be the head coach next year. I don't know who the head coach is going to be, and I'm looking for my off-ramp. And that's the problem I have with firing a coach in the middle. Again, unless it's a dumpster fire where the guys aren't playing. That's not the case with the Giants. They are playing hard. I just think the philosophy killed them in the fourth quarter.
Well, listen, you're going to find out sooner or later. You're going to know. Not for nothing, the season ends in 8-9 weeks anyway.
Yep.
So you'll get Black Monday. You'll find out what's going to on and who's available, what other coaches are available. I'm honestly, I don't see the Steelers ever getting rid of fucking what's his face Tomlin. I
don't know about that. Here's a team that, again, when was the last time the Steelers were a great team? When was the last time? Sometimes, he's been there, I think, 18 years.
He's been there a long time.
Yeah, it's definitely been a long time. And again, I don't necessarily know if Mike Tomlin's a great coach, but he's done a lot with very little. It doesn't have to be Tomlin or Gruden, but I want a coach like that. I don't want the next assistant who's never been a head coach at a big level. I just don't. It's enough with the hot offensive coordinator or the big defensive coordinator. People talk about Antonio Pierce. He was terrible with the Raiders. Terrible. Now, you want to tell me he's your defensive coordinator? I can live with that. Luan Amarano, whatever his name is, from the guy who's with the Bears, Staten Island guy, he's not a head coach. Not yet. I don't think so. But we'll see what they think. They'll be on another search, and it's depressing as a Giant fan. Like I could see them getting better. I told you before the season, only I want to see was the Giants getting better, and I thought so. I think that they've played well in every single game. They're not getting blown out. They're being competitive. They just don't know how to win. The problem is you can't lose games like that every week and think you're going to keep your job.
Losing like that 3 or 4 times by midway point of the season is
it's terrible.
Yeah.
Listen, when I was watching that game, I said Daboll's done. When that game was coming to an end and they were losing after being up 5 minutes and change, they're up 10 points. I gotta tell you, I don't know how much football you watch. I know you watch a lot of it through ESPN, the apps, and all that stuff. But I'm watching the Giant game, and Greg Olson's doing the game, and the Giants are up 7. There's like 5 minutes and change left, and the Giants have 4th and goal at the 1 yard line. They're up 7 points right now. Okay, 5 minutes and change left, and I'm going. Kick the field goal because I want to be up 2 scores. Okay, I don't want it to be 1 score. I want it to be 2 scores. And he's going, no, you got to go for 2. You got to go for the touchdown. You got to go for the touchdown. You got to go for the touchdown. And I'm saying, if they don't get it, it's a big deal. It's a 1-score game with 5 minutes left in the game. And they kicked the field goal and they wound up losing. And the problem is in today's NFL, nobody wants a punt. Nobody wants to play defense. Nobody wants to play X's and O's, and it bothers me to no extent. I don't know what are you questioning, Frank Catalano? I'm watching Giant games. They're competitive every week.
He's asking which football team are you watching?
I watch the Giants every week, and they're competitive. I'm not telling you they're a great team. I'm just telling you that they're in every game. That's all I said before the season, and I've said it right here multiple times. Only I care about is at the end of the day, the Giants get better and better every year, every game this year, and they're in every game, and they have been. I mean, the closest blowout, I would say, was the Eagles game. Maybe the Chiefs game, the second half got a little crazy. But the Giants have played football and played good football in every game this year. And
I got to be honest with you, man. Getting blown out that many times in the fourth quarter, to me, is not really –
I agree with you.
There's some problems there.
No, I'm not. Again, I'm not telling you that you're wrong on that end. I do. No, Frank, I disagree with you. There's a lot of games that you watch every Sunday where by second quarter the game's over, the other team is gone. And again, I've watched a lot of Giant games the last, my life, and I've seen a lot of that over the years. I watched the Giants this year, and when you get into games when you're in the fourth quarter and you're up double digits, you're being competitive and you're playing good football. The problem for the Giants is you can't lose those games. And that's the problem I have this year. If you got to the fourth quarter, you're down a touchdown, the game's tied, and you find a way to lose, all right, it happens. You're still trying to figure it out. The problem for Daboll was you got to the fourth quarter with wins, and you couldn't seal the deal. And that's why Brian Daboll got fired. There's no doubt.
Well, listen, not only does Brian Daboll have to be questioned in all of this.
Yeah.
The Giants hierarchy has to be questioned in this too, simply because you're talking about a team that was winning by several scores.
Yes.
And against Denver, not only did they lose the game against Denver, but also scored against Denver with 5 minutes left.
Yes.
So it's like, yes, they scored, but yes, they gave up more points.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a situation where, yes, it's ultimately the head coach's responsibility, but the head coach should have walked right out the front door with the holding hands with the coordinator. And they should just told him that you're never, ever allowed back in this stadium. You can't even buy a fucking ticket and come back in here. That's how much we don't want you in here ever again. You guys suck. But they did not get rid of him. And I do not understand that, because to me, the first person would have been, I would have told Daboll to go fire the defensive coordinator.
Absolutely, 100%. I agree with that.
And then tell him, guess who else is getting fired now? So go pack up your shit. I would have bought him a box and put that in here.
Listen, you're the head coach. at the end of the day, if the defensive coordinator or the offensive coordinator doesn't do his job, it's on you to get it right. If you don't get it right, it's on you. And I disagree, Frank. I think they are good. They are not a bad team. They're not a good team because they don't win games. So you can't be a good team. But when you're competitive and you're playing well, there's a you could see a future in it. And I see some good things for them. Problem is, you cannot get to the fourth quarter and blow double-digit leads and can say you're a good team. So again,
the Giants are like playing emergency. Remember the TV show Emergency?
Sure, watch it all the time.
Of course, man. Of course. And the doctor would be there, Rampart.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Okay, well, Brian Daboll was like the doctor at Rampart, and the defensive coordinator were like fucking Roy and his partner there getting to the accident scene, and they're like, "Wow, this guy got his arm ripped off in a car accident. We got to do something." And now they know what to do. They knew to an extent they know what to do, but they're calling the hospital and they're calling up for advice. And then the guy's like, "Well, you got to put a tourniquet on him so he doesn't bleed to death." All right. We don't have one. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to do that, whatever. And then the guy bleeds to death. And that's similar to what the Giants are doing. Mm-hmm. Brian Daboll let the Giants bleed to death. He should have done something. One of those games, somebody should have been pissed off, and it shouldn't have been Brian Daboll for losing the game.
I agree with you.
Defensive coordinator that walked in on Monday morning with his fucking resignation in his hand because he was embarrassed by having play calling duties taken away from him.
I agree with you, and that is the problem.
Why I think that he didn't do it. But I'm shocked that they did not fire the defensive coordinator. I just don't understand that at all.
I agree with you. That's my point. Is that your head coach, you got yourself in a position to win the games. The defense failed, and then the guy who got fired was the head coach, but you kept the guy who ultimately is responsible for those games. So again. Did Daboll deserve to get fired? Yes. You don't lose games like that in the NFL every week.
But you know something too. Now here's the thing. That shows that Daboll wasn't. He had too much going on. He needed a better staff. He couldn't handle all the responsibilities that came with all of the issues that were happening with that team. Because sooner or later, you have to turn around. You got to put your foot down. And you got to say, no, this can't happen no more. Happened once, okay. Happened a second time, wow, this could be a problem. You see it in the process of happening a third time, we have to make it stop today, right now. This can't go any further.
I agree. That is the problem. That you're the head coach, and when your players or your coaches fail, it falls on you to fix it. And when you don't, you got to pay the ultimate price. And that's what he did. So. Hey, let's get off the Giants a little bit.
I hope the Jets lose. I hope they blow it. I hope they get wiped out 63-0 because I know why you're rooting for them. And once again, fuck off. I hope they lose. I do not want to see Denver get any kind of leg up.
I'm going to turn the game on. But I do want to do. We did promise to do a Christmas trivia contest, so I'd like to do that.
Actually, like trivia or questions. I don't know. Mine are more questions, but
go ahead. Okay.
I think I got some good ones, man.
I got 5, and I have 200 actually that I found, but I pulled 5 that I really liked. So
you actually went Christmas trivia.
Yes, Christmas trivia.
Well, I got some kind of trivia questions. But I got questions for you about Christmas.
All right, good. You go first then.
All right, I'm going to ask. Let me see. Okay, here's one I think that you may think is interesting. You're about to sit down for Christmas dinner. Be it Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, whatever one of you, doesn't matter. Yeah, you better not get breached, you fuck. What 3 Christmas characters do you want to sit at a table with and have dinner with?
Oh wow, that's crazy. Okay, 3 Christmas characters. And it could be animated, could be.
No, it has to be animated, real, whatever. It's the whole gamut of characters. Claymation, animation, puppets, cartoons, whatever.
Okay. I want to obviously I want to sit down and talk to Santa. I want to know how the whole operation works.
Okay.
I want to talk to Herbie the dentist. Okay.
Wow.
I want to talk to Herbie.
I've seen that smile of yours. I think I know why you want him there.
I want to talk to Herbie. The last one's a tough one, but that's a good. The number 3 is the tough one. I would have said Yukon Cornelius, but there's too many guys in that one, so I'm going to say Herbie because I want to know why Elf wants to be a dentist. That's an interesting one. Who would be the last?
The life of Riley is an elf.
Yes, and that's the last one. Oh, Ebenezer. I want to know why the change. Easy, wow. Ebenezer.
Okay, that is quite the trio.
Yes, that is my Christmas dinner. Me, Santa, Herbie, and Ebenezer.
Wow.
Yeah, he might is another good one, but I'll stay with my picks.
Well, Santa definitely. What's the point of having that without?
I want to know how the operation works. I got to know how the whole thing works.
But he's only going to give you so much. He's not going to tell you everything.
I got to know whatever I can find out.
Oh, that's interesting.
I got to know. Here's the thing. First question to Santa is this. All right, they put out cookies and milk for you. What's Santa's favorite cookie? That's what I got to know.
And are you lactose intolerant?
Yeah, well, that's another one, but I want to know, is it Oreos? I think Santa's a graham cracker guy. That's my
Let me ask you something. On Christmas morning, if you come out, I remember like being happy. So I didn't remember really going out too much because most of my stuff was indoor toys. But if you ever went out early on Christmas morning and you look on the lawn, you'd be like, what the fuck is that? What is that, Mom? What is that? What is that? I can't make it out. It's not reindeer shit. What is it? It could have been milk from the neighbor's house, and Santa just like it hit him at the last minute. Like, oh, fuck, shit. And he's behind a bush shitting or something. What's all that all over the window, Ma? That wasn't there yesterday.
Go ahead, number 2. What do you got?
Okay. This pertains to decorations. Lights. White colored and why?
That's a great question. I would say I thought I was a white light guy, but I realized I'm colored lights. I don't like blinking lights. I like colored lights that are steady.
I don't blame you. I hear you. It feels warm. You can feel the warmth of it. Yeah, Frank, me too. I'm a colored lights kind of guy myself.
Yep.
I got to agree with that 110%, man. All right. Now, as you're getting older, you got a grandchild now, and you got a bunch of kids over there. There's 7 of you. All right. So right now, you're in Florida. Christmas is coming. Where's your perfect Christmas? Is it in New Jersey or is it in Florida? Where do you want to be for Christmas? And
New Jersey. At this point, I still love that feeling of walking outside and the air is crisp. Like if you go outside now, the palm trees are being decorated with Christmas lights, and it looks very pretty. The feel of Christmas isn't here for me because I don't know. It's just the feeling of Christmas when you walk outside and it's 80 degrees is not there for me. I like that crisp, cool weather. There's a different feeling when you're back home and it's Christmas time.
Well, you know what? You're still able to. I'm sure you have the aches and pains that everybody else does. But the cold, you're still able to handle the cold and deal with the cold, and God knows you're out there doing what you got to do.
Yep.
All the time, year round. But I Christmas to me means cold. I could not celebrate Christmas in a warm weather, and I couldn't say like I could live down in Florida, but I'm going to go get a hotel room in New York. Like no, I couldn't do that. I would have to have Christmas. To me, is it cold weather?
I agree.
When the Christmas day is too warm, I hate that.
I agree with you. It has to be chilly and cool and a little gray, and that's Christmas to me.
Yeah. Okay. So question number 4: what is my favorite Christmas? My favorite kind of Christmas.
What is Jeff's favorite kind of Christmas?
Yeah.
Well,
what do you think that I'm doing? From when I wake up on Christmas morning, what do you
well, the first thing you're doing, now Thanksgiving is your time to watch March of the Wooden Soldiers. So I think you're cooking and you're eating, and you're watching TV on Christmas. So it's you and your wife, small crowd, lots of food.
Well, kind of. Last year was just me and my wife. Her daughter wasn't around, and her son wasn't around for Christmas Day. They came for Christmas Eve. and it was just me and my wife. We stayed home on Christmas Day.
Right.
And it was nice, and my wife made a nice dinner, and it was just the two of us, and we hung out, and everybody was happy, and everybody was, cool and calm and collected.
Sure.
Me, the dog, and the cat. I like a nice, quiet Christmas Day, Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve to me is a little bit more hectic.
Yes.
There's a lot going on, food and everything else.
I like Christmas Eve. Yes, I'm a Christmas Eve guy.
Yeah. To me, we're going to stay home again on Christmas Day, and we're going to go visit my parents the Saturday after Christmas.
Okay.
Because at this point in time, without little kids, it's just visiting. And not that we don't want to visit them, but I want to deal with the traffic. But the last question for me that I have for you is another decorative question.
Okay.
Okay. Stockings. Overrated? Or do you still use them? Are they there for decorations? Like, what's your stance on Christmas stockings?
Okay, so that's a great question. We have every child in our family, all the kids and their significant others have their own Christmas stocking, and we actually fill them each year. So every year the kids get an envelope, they get one big gift, and then we fill their stockings with, it could be anything from chocolate coins to dice. My son Thomas gets dice every year.
Was he collect them, or you just?
No, it's kind of an inside joke. He got in trouble when he was in school for playing dice in St. Mary's.
Okay.
So every year he gets a set of dice. So it's just one of those things. And every year, Christopher gets socks, and so yes, I do believe in the Christmas stockings. And every year, and now that my grandson's around, he'll have a stocking that we fill up every year with little stuff. So yes, I'm a big believer in the Christmas stockings.
Okay. Frank, to answer your question, I have one daughter. My wife has a daughter and a son. So between us, we have 3 kids, but my daughter does her own thing on Christmas. I don't get to really see her that much. But it is what it is. I don't have any other questions for you, man. That's
I have 5 Christmas trivia questions for you.
okay.
All right, let's see what you got. I have 200 more, but I'll start. I pulled 5 that I liked.
All right, I'm gonna have a what do you call it? A bonus question for you that I wanted to write. I'll give to you, but I forgot. I don't know if you're gonna get it. I think you're gonna get it, but I gotta ask.
All right, you want to go first? Or you want to hit mine and I'll come back to yours?
No, we'll come back to this one.
Okay, so here, Jeff, we're going to start very simple. This is easy, and it's got a bonus question to it. Jeff, who was the bad guy in the television cartoon Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
The bad guy.
Who was the bad guy? Who was the themed bad guy of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
The Bumble.
The Abominable Snowman. That's right. Bonus question. Who tames the Abominable Snowman?
Well, Hermie did. He pulled all his teeth out.
Wasn't Hermie?
Well, you know what? Yukon.
Yes. Yukon Cornelius took him over the edge.
Yeah. But Hermie did take his teeth out, which made him nothing.
He did. Hermie, my guy.
But not for nothing. You were right. Yukon masterminded the whole plan.
100%. Yukon Cornelius. Jeff, name Santa's reindeer.
Wow. Holy shit. Okay. Blitzen, Donna.
Come on.
All right, hold on.
Yeah.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer,
Uh-huh.
Comet, Cupid, Donna, and Blitzen.
You're missing one.
I know I'm missing one.
Go back again.
Well, it's not Rudolph. We know that.
No.
He makes 9.
Yeah, that's right. Name Santa's 8 reindeer. Go back again. So you skip right over it.
I know. I can't. I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it.
All right, I'll give you a hint. It's a female heavy metal band.
Vixen.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. We'll give you credit. Jeff, true or false? All of Santa's reindeer are girls.
False.
Nope, it is true. Boy reindeers lose their antlers before the winter. Technically, all Santa's reindeer are girls. I'm just telling you the trivia question.
No, and I'm going to tell you why.
If
you watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer,
Uh-huh.
Rudolph's father is on Santa's sleigh team.
Yes, so he is absolutely. He's Donner, I believe.
And the coach
Uh-huh.
is also on Santa's sleigh team.
I'm just telling you what the trivia contest said. So I got two more.
But let me ask you something.
Okay.
How do you spell Donner?
I have a Donner.
Okay, so but it's not Donna.
No, it's not. It's absolutely not. Jeff, what did the wise men follow to find baby Jesus?
The star.
North Star. Very good. All right. Now, if you don't get this question correct, you lose your Christmas eligibility for 5 years.
Oh boy.
Okay. So I'm just telling you now, Jeff, what song is sung by the Peanuts gang at the end of Charlie Brown Christmas?
Hark the Herald Angels sing.
Nice, Jeff. Good job.
I've only seen that 1,000 times. I've already started listening. When I listen to Christmas music, I listen to one album.
Okay.
One album. And that's the Peanuts Christmas.
Who doesn't? It's the best of all the best.
Yes. Now that brings me up to a second question to ask.
Yeah.
Okay. A trio wrote and performed the Charlie Brown Christmas. Who are they?
Trio performed the Charlie Brown Christmas. Wow. Oh my God. Wow. I do not know. I do not know the answer to that.
The Vince Guaraldi Trio.
Yes, I do know that. Yes.
Okay.
I do know that. Yes.
Also, now for the bonus question I was going to add that I wanted to ask you. Who were the producers? I'm going to call them producers because I'm pretty sure that's what they were. It wasn't the creators. I'm pretty sure it's the producers. Who produced a lot of those Peter, Paul, and Mary? Get the fuck out. This fucking guy. Who produced most of the Christmas shows that we love and watch now?
I don't know the answer to that.
Jules Rankin and Arthur Bass, I think it is.
Yes, that's very good. That's very good. Yes, Jules Rankin, you're 100% correct. Wow, that's great trivia question right there. You know the names because you watch those shows and their names pop up 50 times. They're the producers, directors. They're the they got the coffee. They did the commerce truck. So that is great. I found a really cool website with a lot of fun questions. Let's see. I'll give you a couple more. Let's see. Those are too easy. No. Let's see if we get something decent here. I'm not a big Buddy the Elf guy. Sorry, I can't help you there. What is the name of the Grinch's dog?
Oh, fuck me. Oh, man. I don't know.
Max.
God damn it. That's right. I've heard that before.
In the song Frosty the Snowman, what made Frosty come to life?
It must have been the magic from that old hat.
There you go, the old silk hat. Let's see.
Frank Carolina needed new uniforms, period, man.
True or false? Jingle Bells was always intended to be a Christmas song.
I'm going to go with false.
It was written for Thanksgiving. Let's see. No. Okay. Elvis is not going to have a white Christmas. Elvis is going to have a
blue Christmas.
There you go. Good guy. Let's see if I got a couple more here for you real quick before you end the show. That's too easy. No, it's too simple. Let's see. Hold on. Nah, it's too. Give me the two most popular names for Santa Claus other than Santa Claus.
Kris Kringle and St. Nicholas.
Good job. All right, here's an odd one. What is the traditional English name for Santa?
English name for Santa.
The traditional English name for Santa.
Father Christmas, I believe.
Nice, very nice. I never thought you'd get that one. All right, I'll give you this. Is a tough one. I don't think you'll get this one. Which department store is credited for creating Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Oh, wow.
I've heard of it. And I know the name, but it's been long gone.
Bloomingdale's?
Montgomery Ward.
Montgomery Ward. Wow. Definitely not.
Yep, that's.
We bawl about this one every year. I say no. It is definitely not a Christmas movie.
What's that?
Die Hard.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Sorry.
Definitely not.
It is 100%. We have this fight every year, and we'll do it again this year.
We just got to get a little closer.
Yeah. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, here's one. I don't know if you. This is one I never heard. According to legend, what holiday goodies were shaped to resemble a shepherd's staff, and as a way to remind children of shepherds who visited baby Jesus?
Candy cane?
There you go. And the other one was, why are candy canes red and white?
Because of Santa?
No, it's because of the blood of Jesus.
Mixing with the snow?
Yes, something to that effect. I'm trying to find the answer to that one. But it was really crazy. It was really kind of crazy.
Is there any certain candies that you need or anything that you normally would not get, touch, look at, whatever, but have to have for Christmas?
I hate the honey balls. I hate them. Trying to think for Christmas. I would say the answer is no. I can't think of a candy or a goodie on Christmas that I have to have every year. So no, the answer for me is negative. How about yourself?
Ribbon candy.
Ribbon candy. Wow.
I do not eat it. I do not like it. I have to have ribbon candy every year. And normally I have people that buy me ribbon candy because they know what I'm looking for. If they come across it in the store, I'll get a call from somebody like, yo, I'm at the store. I got ribbon candy here. Do you want it? Do you have it yet? I had one woman buy me 2 boxes of ribbon candy a couple years ago.
Wow.
And then I
didn't know
found,
you still made it.
while decorating, I found ribbon candy amongst my decorations. Of course, we never opened a box. So we just opened that and used that. But there's also, I only was able to find them 1 year. There's these hideous looking hard candies that look like Christmas decorations. And they're almost impossible to find. But I think this year I'm going to scour Amazon and I'm going to get them. And I just take them, I put them in a bowl, and I leave them on the hutch, and that's that. And I don't touch them, I don't eat them, I don't know what it tastes like. And then a couple days after Christmas, when they don't move anymore, when you hit the dish, they get thrown out.
Wow, that's interesting. Ribbon candy. Wow. How about this one? What happens for the first person to find the pickle ornament on the Christmas tree on Christmas morning?
Oh man, what did they won something? Because my Sharon's mother used to do that, and her and her whole family would scout the Christmas tree for the pickle. And I think we have one on our tree, but we don't do that. Like, oh, where's the pickle? Like, we just put it on the tree because Sharon always had one on the tree. I think they get a piece of cake or something, or a piece of pie.
It just says the first person to find the pickle on the tree will receive an extra present from Santa Claus, or would be said to have a year of good fortune.
Oh, okay. I guess we're poor because we just get, whatever. Nobody's getting any extra presents. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's true. Wow. How about this one? In Japan, it's common for families to go to this American fast food chain on Christmas, KFC.
Really?
Yes, Japan, people go to KFC on Christmas.
Man, could you imagine a couple hours into Christmas what that house must be like?
Let's see if there's any more in here. Miscellaneous Christmas trivia. What country? No, like that.
When you do Christmas at your house, right?
Yep.
What time? When I was a kid, my mother and father would never let us light the tree until Christmas Eve.
Correct.
Okay, so we had to wait for that, and then we used to eat late. So like we wouldn't eat till like 7, 8 o'clock maybe. So like now, every year for Christmas, I don't want to do anything until it's dark.
Okay.
And it's a battle that I fear that I lose. I lost it one year big time, and we were done with everything by like 4 o'clock. It wasn't even dark. That was kind of
that. Yeah.
I'm like, what's the sense? I was like, that ruins everything. I just fuck this. So I insist upon Christmas dinner. I'm not eating it, and when I'm letting anybody cook it until it's dark. Are you the same way, or do you? What time do you start Christmas dinner? Christmas
no.
Eve.
Well, Christmas Eve usually starts 4 or 5 o'clock at my mom's house.
That's what time everybody gets there, or that's what time?
Yeah, I would say 4. She usually tells everybody to come between 4 and 5. Like if it's a Saturday or an off day, people show up at 4. Normally, people tell to come over for 5. We start little appetizers, and dinner will start around 6.
Okay, all right. And what time does it end there? Well,
that's a great. I would say it's gotten earlier and earlier. I would say by most years, 8:30, the latest. People on their way home. I've seen it end a little sooner than that when mom's not feeling well. It could be here's your coat, here's your hat, what's your hurry?
Yeah.
So, but it's usually about 8:30, and the night is over with.
And then on Christmas Eve, when you go home, right?
Yep.
I'm assuming that just you and your wife go back to your house.
Yep.
So then, what happens at your house after that?
I'm a big. I'll usually watch a Christmas movie or two. Usually, Miracle on 34th Street. I'll watch the original Miracle on Christmas Eve when I go home. Sometimes, like nowadays, there's usually football. Depending on the game, I'll watch the game. Usually, my night will end with at least Christmas Miracle on 34th Street on the tube. But yeah, we'll go home. We'll put everything away. We might partake of some of the food that we took home, but at the very least, I'm on the couch and in my Christmas PJs, and I'm watching either the late football game or I'm watching a Christmas show. That's why.
Frank, you actually have to work on Christmas Eve, man, because if you do, that sucks. I've told my boss, I tell my boss every year, like, you could schedule me in for Christmas and Christmas Eve, but I usually take vacation, but I tell them, like, if you need me and you want to schedule me in, you can, but I'm going to bang out sick anyway. So,
yeah, I'm with Frankie. I've worked most of it. Here's my normal Christmas Eve is I'm gone by 12 o'clock. I'll stop at a mall on my way home every year. If I'm working, I'll stop and I want to walk one mall for an hour. I will do a little last minute Christmas shopping, pick up a couple last minute things. I'm usually home before 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 2:30 maybe, and I'm relaxed. And then I'm off to my parents' house about 4 o'clock for dinner. But yeah, I go Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve every single year as an adult.
Jeez, wow.
Yes, every year.
And in your experiences, are the malls packed on Christmas Eve?
I wouldn't say packed, but there's a lot of people in there. Like obviously nowadays it's a lot lighter. Most people are shopping online, but you walk in I've gone to the Staten Island Mall. I usually go to a different mall every year. It depends on where I'm headed or what I'm looking for. But I will tell you that there's a good amount of people running around in the mall at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Christmas Eve. Yeah, it's still pretty, but it ain't like when I was younger and before the advent of Amazon and shopping online. Then those days it was packed, but now still a good amount of people. You walk around, listen to a little Christmas music, and might grab something to eat and walk around the mall and just kind of take in the sights.
You don't feel lonely doing that, man?
No, I love going Christmas shopping by myself. I don't mind going with other people. Believe me, I don't mind. If you called me and said, "Hey, meet me in Staten Island Mall," or Frank called me and said, "Meet me in the Jersey, the Jackson outlets," I would do it in a heartbeat. But I have no problem just walking around the mall, quiet. I might stop at the store, pick up something for myself. I might pick up something for others, and just walk around taking the sights. No, I enjoy it. I enjoy walking, shopping on my own.
Oh, that's good to know, man. Maybe this year, maybe we can meet up and
I would enjoy that.
I don't know about Christmas Eve, but before heading into Christmas, before that, maybe we could meet up and hang out.
Wow, right. That's shock. It's not shocking. Most people don't shop online, don't shop in stores anymore. They go to online. But to me, there's something about like by my job, there's a Christmas village set up. They set it up on 35th Street. It's actually on 7th Avenue between 35th and 34th, right outside of Macy's. And it's a little Christmas village. And I go a couple times a week. I just walk through the village, and I might pick up a knickknack. I might eat. I enjoy this holiday season, and I just love seeing people walking around and enjoying it. And I get a lot of joy out of that. That's one of the things about being in Florida that you miss, is that you don't see that here. And
this year, we already went to Bryant Park.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, we went to Bryant Park like the day before our anniversary. We went to Bryant Park.
Okay.
Naturally, this weekend is my nephew's wedding, so we can't go then.
Yeah.
But next weekend, either depending on what we're doing and everything else what's going on, I know Sharon wants to go to Grand Central. I would love to go to Union Square.
Very nice place to go to. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, we go every year to Union Square, but I got to see what happens. What, Union Square? Frank, Bryant Park is set up. Union Square, I think, is getting set up this weekend.
Yeah, I would say you'll see them all prep. They'll all be up and done. But I'm telling you, if you go by Macy's is a lot of fun. That's tradition, because that's the original right on 34th Street. And they do a nice display. And then right outside is a nice village. You can go in there and eat, and you can have little shops set up. It's really cool.
We went through Macy's.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the last time we were there, we actually went through Macy's, which was cool. There was a lot going on. We went all the way up to the top, which God knows how long it took us to get up to the top floor.
Well, I've never done that. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, we just, went up the elevator and... we're not really Macy's kind of people,
Yeah, I mean? It's not my type of shop, but I'd like walking in during the holidays.
Yeah.
Last year, they had a big fire in the village. They burnt the village down. It was fucking wild. All you could smell was hot chocolate and marshmallow when it was burned.
Oh, wow.
I think there was a stand that sold hot chocolate and went up in flames. And you were walking around and you just smell hot chocolate, marshmallows burning.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So,
yeah, they had plenty of old escalators in there, man. Fucking old wood fucking escalators. Yeah, it's very nostalgic when you go in there, because
absolutely,
it was a store, man. And there's none of them around anymore. The Macy's in Staten Island Mall is like a Kmart outlet compared to that other Macy's.
Yeah, it's different.
I don't know. You're not getting toys for Christmas. Okay. And when I mean by toys, I'm talking toys, like when we were kids.
Yeah. And
every year my wife asks me the same thing. What do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas? And I'm like, I don't know. Surprise me. Get whatever you want. And she's like, just tell me what you want. I'm like, I don't know. If I knew, I would tell you, get me this, get me that.
Yeah.
So I get more joy out of doing certain things, like going to these Christmas villages, even though I know I'm not going to buy anything.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's expensive, or it's stuff that people don't want or not going to use. And I just like to go there and kill the time. And no bases for Christmas, Frank. My wife, she bought me one base for Christmas. She doesn't know.
It wasn't a friend of precision.
The one that she got me, she was very excited, and she couldn't wait for me to see it and everything. And it was nice. I like it. I still have it. But I mean, what I'm looking for is that's the whole entire Christmas budget.
To me, that stuff has to be something you buy yourself, because it's a feel, it's a look. You can look at a bass or a guitar and go, that's a nice looking thing, but you get it in your hand, you go, it don't feel right. So that's something you kind of have. It's like buying underwear. he can buy it for you, and you can get the right colors and all that. But until you put them on, you never know how it feels.
Well, like after today's stunt, leaving a band, I question myself. Like, I got to go pick up an amp from somebody. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do with this?
Yeah.
What am I going to do with it? It's almost obsolete. What am I going to do with it? I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
But I can't leave it where it is because I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah.
And it's like if I bring it home, what am I going to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm a dick. I just have too much stuff. At my age, I just got way too much stuff, and it may be time to start. How many guitars do you have?
Technically, I have 5. One here, and let's see, the Gibson, the Fender, the Kramer, and the V. Technically, I have 5.
Where's the Van Halen guitar?
That's up back in Jersey.
Oh, that's the Kramer?
That's a Kramer.
Oh, okay. I have 14.
Yeah, I when I was a kid, there were 3 or 4 guitars that I said I have to own someday. And I bought every one of them at this point. So I never need to buy, the V, which you and your wife were generous enough to buy me for my birthday. That I have. I love that V. The Gibson, the Fender, the black, black on black. I love it. And then the Kramer, the Frankenstein, that was it. The Ibanez I bought here is just to have something to play when I'm here. But
I would have had something there too. But
to me, the only guitar I would even contemplate buying at this point would probably be a Wolfgang. I wanted to get the Wolfgang EV8, but I probably won't do it at this point.
What is going on with the? I don't mean to keep you. I know you got things going on, but what is going on with the Band League?
Well, I think part of the problem is that I'm actually going to I'm going to buy a PlayStation for down here. I haven't had a chance to do it, but I'm going to buy it this week and then probably return it before I leave. I know Frank Jeffrey's on his way to New Jersey right now, or should be tomorrow morning. So I don't know if he's got a way to play up there. So we might be on pause for a week. I'm not sure, but
because I know that I texted him earlier this week, and he said, "I'll text you when I'm home," and nothing.
Yeah, I think he means when he gets back to Jersey. He's on his way to Jersey for Thanksgiving. He's going to spend some the from now until the 2nd of December. I think he's going to be back up in New York.
Okay.
Like I said, for me, I've been down here for a few days, and I'm without PlayStation at the point. But I think tomorrow morning I have to run and pick up a couple of things. I'm going to buy it because I'm jonesing to play a little bit. I miss playing. So I'm going to probably do that tomorrow, and then I'll return it before I head back home.
Return it?
Yes, I've done. Believe me, I've done it with tools. I've done it with a lot of other than food. I'll buy it, use it, and return it.
Nice.
So as long as the policy is good, so I'll have it for this weekend. So that'll be it. But
you should see if you could get a used one or something.
I checked into it. Even the used ones are like $400 and something. It's like ridiculous.
Wow.
I was in Walmart the other day. They wanted $540 for a PlayStation 5. Amazon, I think I saw it used was $425. I'm like, I might as well buy a new one. What's the difference? I want to return it anyway.
Yeah. Wow. We got to make sure that you take all your info out of that fucking thing.
Yes, you have to factory reset it. Yes, I am well aware. So, let's wrap this up for tonight. It's been a lot of fun, a lot longer than I expected it to go. And I appreciate Frankie and Matt and everybody else hanging in. I'm going to go watch a little bit of the Jet game and check out these bad uniforms that the Patriots are supposed to be wearing. And we'll be back live from here again next Thursday night. We'll do this all over again. It's been a lot of fun. And hopefully we'll have better news. The Jets will win and the Giants will win. And Jeff, we get to watch Jameis Winston play quarterback for the Giants this week.
Well, you're right. You say that, but I actually happen to have Jameis Winston on my team.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, because Justin Fields, on my first or second year with my Jets team now, did not want to re-sign with the Jets.
Ah,
and he jetted for free agency and greener pastures.
Yes.
And then I had nobody, and I had to sign Jameis Winston. Here's the real kick in the ass.
Uh-huh.
Frank Catalano, have a good night, man.
See you, Frankie.
I still have Jameis Winston who wants to stay.
Uh-huh.
They call this his home, not retiring, nothing. I tried to sign Marcus Mariota, and I don't know if I got him or not. My only other possible option of a quarterback that's worth anything, Daniel Jones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I may have to sign Daniel Jones because the next is just the computer-generated scrubs that are rated like 68. At least Daniel Jones is in the 70s.
There you go.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, you know, it's funny. You'd think he'd be rated higher at this point because he's having a great season. So,
well, it is strange because, you know, Madden changes the ratings on these guys if they have good games.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't realize because every week when you start a new game, they ask you if you want to update the roster, and then guys are in and out depending on who's playing and who's hurt, and then their ratings change. So one week you got a guy and he's in his, you know, in his high 60s, low 70s, and next week he's at 80. You know, depending on how he plays that week in real life. That
don't happen for me. That don't happen. Not at all.
I'm missing it. I'm really missing the hockey right now, but I missed the play. I have to play Iggy Mo this week, so I'm looking forward to getting to Madden and playing a couple of games and not working my ass off down here. So
I actually think that I got tonight might be where I win the Stanley Cup or attempt to win the Stanley Cup.
Oh, really?
I think I'm up 3-0 against Edmonton, who, by the way, all summer, not all season long, right? I've been going in a nice clip. I've been winning. It hasn't been much of a contest. I get to the Stanley Cup, I can't do anything. I can't do anything. These guys are on me like white on rice, and I'm like, I'm going to lose the Stanley Cup. That I ended up winning like 4-3, 5-4, like game scores like that. Normally, I was beating the computer 1-3-1. They wouldn't score goals at all.
Yeah.
And now it's just, I don't know. And
now, if you lose the cup, will that discourage you from doing it all over again, going through the whole thing and then losing? Or would it make you fire up and try to win it next year?
I have to win the cup, only because I have to win it because I want to go up a level.
Gotcha.
So I want to go up a level. And I did lose the Super Bowl the other day.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I threw in Jameis Winston, threw an interception. So now I was playing Atlanta, they were up 7-0. So I get the ball, I go all the way down, I can't punch it in, kick a field goal. Hold them, get the ball again, field goal. Hold them again, kick the ball again, field goal. Now I'm winning 9-7 in the third quarter. So I'm like, all I got to do is hold them, get the ball back, and hold the ball, run the ball. That's all I got to do. I did not run against Atlanta. I had to throw a pass. I threw about fucking 3 interceptions in the second half. I ended up losing 31-9.
Wow.
Yeah, I was fucking pissed.
It's a lot of fun. I have to tell you, it really is a lot of fun to play those games at this point in my life.
It is. Yes, you're right. It is a lot of fun. But when you think of the time of your life that you playing that game, and then all of a sudden you're like, I fucking lost. It took me months to get to this point, and I lost.
Yes, it definitely is deflating. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's discouraging, man.
Yes.
So my high scorer in the NHL playoffs right now, Jeff Bukaboom.
Wow.
Yeah, the guy has like fucking 40 assists. He's also leading the league in fucking hits. He's been pounding the shit out of people left and right.
The one thing I can't figure out is like I'm the Ranger alumni team.
Yes.
Right? Okay, that's my team in the season. And every once in a while, I get a new player pops up. You know, like one week I have this guy, Bob Nevins, has been on the roster. And then all of a sudden, Ron Duguay took his spot. And then all of a sudden, Duguay is gone. Like, I don't know who brings these guys in and out.
You must have some kind of automatic thing set on there.
Yeah.
I know I had Joey Kosa for a while. And if I use the Rangers alumni team, I'm going to go down to the farms, see who I got. I'm going to bring Richter up. Bukaboom, I got Lowe. I got to see what other players from the Cup team were on there and bring them up and then try to pair it up.
Yeah, that's one thing I haven't figured out where the farm team is, because I'm sure there's
You gotta
players
go
I
to
want.
roster moves. There's a thing, roster moves. You
Yes.
got roster moves.
Okay. Well, like I said, when I get myself set up down here, if I have any questions, I'll let you know.
Well, I find it once in a while. I'm not going to say that I know what I'm doing.
I got you. Well, in the meantime, guys, that's it for tonight. We're going to wrap it up, and we'll be back next Thursday night. We'll do this all over again when Jeff and I get together. But in the meantime, thanks to Frankie and Matt and everybody else who checked in. To a couple new people that popped up tonight. We do appreciate everybody hangs out with us for a couple hours and listens to us talk about Christmas and Madden leagues and all that stuff. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next Thursday night when Jeff and I get together and do this all over again. So for Jeff and myself, have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week, a great weekend, and a great next week. We'll see you back here next Thursday at 7 o'clock. Hefe, have a great one. I'll see you off the air.
Later, man.
Later, man.
Bye.